Well, she left, so I went and YouTubed everything, how to get your ex back, right? Oh, what the hell? I hired 3 different, a girl, a guy, and another guy. And honestly, I'll be candid with you, dude. I don't think I really believe they actually went through what I went through. But the psychology of what they were teaching me brought me to one simple truth, and it was this: if I want to move on, I've got to move on, and if I want to get her back, I've got to move on.
We have thought leaders, business leaders, and people from all walks of life trying to impact the world in their own way. Today's guest is someone that has taken a different approach, and that is to focus on marriage. According to the American Psychological Association, approximately 40 to 50% of first marriages end in divorce. See, I would have thought that was lower. I knew it was high. I didn't know it was that high. The divorce rate for second marriages, though, is even higher at 60 to 67%. Well, why is that? Well, today's guest is going to let us know, and hint, hint, he isn't shy about discussing what happens in the bedroom. Yeah, today's show might be a little different than any of our past. With a deep passion for this one singular purpose of reigniting marriages again, Keith has created a life-changing and groundbreaking process that has already saved hundreds of marriages. He is the founder and creator of MarriedGame.com. When his wife left him 5 years ago, he realized that he was the problem and that his wife was no longer attracted to him. Since getting her back, Keith has dedicated his life to teaching men how to get their wives to want to have sex with them again by doing one simple thing: becoming the most attractive version of themselves. I don't know where the show is going to take us, but I'm excited about it. Welcome to 2000% Raise, Keith Yackey.
Oh, man, John, it's an honor to be here, and I'm excited to chat about this stuff, bro.
Hey, man, usually when I get a bio from people, it's, a few paragraphs, and I'll kind of just condense it and, whatever, and it's always usually positive shit. The bio you sent me was literally 2 sentences, and one of the sentences was, when my wife left me 5 years ago. This is unique right from the start, my friend. Special shout out to OSDB, Online Sports Database. Founders Ryan Rahman, Nate Raven, and Aaron Rodgers have developed the IMDb of sports. It should be considered your go-to spot for a thorough look at your favorite pro athletes. Everything from contract details to stats to business ventures and even charities they're involved in. Visit osdbsports.com. Why don't you kind of give us a little bit about your background, Keith, and maybe some milestones to get into what we're going to talk about next?
Yeah, you bet, man. So interestingly enough, I grew up pretty normal middle-class kid, surfing a bunch, playing a bunch of sports, et cetera, et cetera. And I got married really early, like 18, 19 years old.
Oh.
Got really religious, moved from Southern California to Montana to start a church, spent 8 or 9 years doing that, only to realize, what the fuck am I doing, dude? This is not really what I want to be doing with my life. This is not really the person I want to be with in my life. So we moved back to Southern California, then ended up in Vegas, and I realized that my life wasn't where I wanted it to go, and I ended up getting a divorce and went hog wild. I started making a bunch of dough, flipping real estate, went hog wild, had sex with hundreds of women, learned game, learned seduction, learned attraction, learned how all that worked, found the woman of my dreams, only to have her 5 years later say, you run your business, you come home and talk about your business, and then you fall asleep on the couch. That's not what I signed up for. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And by the way, I think my life would be a lot better without you in it.
Oh,
and
shit.
Her and my 2-year-old daughter, I helped them load up the U-Haul. They went out the driveway. They went down the house. I had plenty of financial success. I had plenty of other success. But I realized that, holy shit, I am the problem here. And in that realization, I realized if I'm the problem, I'm also the solution. And so I set out on becoming to solve this problem. I got her back 6 months later.
Boom.
And so the last 5.5 years, we've been building this amazing relationship. And then I said, fuck, I'm not the only guy that's struggling with this. And all my friends who own businesses started sending their buddies to me. Can you help my head of sales? He just got delivered divorce papers. Can you help him? And I started helping people. And I realized there was a process to this. I put a process together. I said, I'm going to take it to the world. We created Marry Game. And here we are teaching guys how to get laid within their marriage.
Awesome, man. I got to tell you, and I'll just tell the audience, this is the first time hearing this too. A lot of my guests I have a relationship with previously. Keith was an introduction. I'm like, I go check out his Instagram. I don't know what the hell exactly we're going to talk about, but this guy's an interesting dude. And right off the bat, you just dropped a little bit of a gem there, Keith. You know what? I like to quote my college football coaches, and one of them was Randy Walker, rest in peace. He is a great coach at Northwestern University. And he used to say, don't point the finger, point the thumb. Start taking responsibility for yourself. And as you just went through all that, man, here's what I'm thinking, okay? And this is going to sound, I don't know, like male stereotypical thing for me to say. And I'm just saying it because I know on the surface, you're like, oh, yeah, she doesn't want to hear you talking about work when you come home every day. But when you started dating her, she still didn't really have a problem with you talking about home flips and the vacations to Hawaii. And then you evolve, right? And now all of a sudden that's not enough for her. And well, what the hell do you mean? A lot of guys say, okay, screw you then. I'm gonna go do a bunch of cool shit. You go do your thing, right? And you're taking a totally different approach than that, Keith. Was it an epiphany in that process that got you there?
Yeah, 100%. Because like having, I didn't just have sex with 200 fucking heifers or fat women. I had applause break. Laughter break.
Ryan in my studio is on the floor right now, by the way.
Well, listen, I had sex with the most beautiful women on planet Earth.
Okay.
And I realized what it took, and it was short-term attraction versus long-term attraction. But if you've seen my wife, which you have if you looked at my Instagram, my wife is absolutely fucking gorgeous. And so when it came to this, it's like, wait a second. I want to be financially successful. I've made millions of dollars every single year for the last 10 years or so. It's a big deal for me to be a radical producer and to continue to grow and to create a badass business, which business is only around to do one thing and solve a problem.
Yep.
And so I was solving those problems but I would totally neglect her. So she didn't feel like a priority anymore. She felt like she goes, Keith, I feel like a walking vagina. Like literally all you want is the hole in me. You don't want the whole of me. And so therefore she's like, I don't feel like a priority. And she wasn't wrong. And so the epiphany was when she left and I'm like, what the fuck is all this dirty laundry around? Blah, blah, blah. What the hell is going on? And then the light bulb goes on. I go, oh shit, it's all mine.
Yeah.
That's when I realized, you know what? Nobody's talking about this. And everybody talking about relationships is 50, fat, and totally fucking unfuckable. They're frumpy as shit. They wear tasseled leather shoes and pleated khaki pants and fucking a polo shirt, and they're selling insurance. Nobody knows what the fuck's going on around here. So how does a guy like me actually have it all? I want to get paid and I want to get laid. That's what really fucking opened my eyes. That was the epiphany. I'm like, all right, I want to have a hot chick that I want sex, yes.
Yeah.
But I want to be wanted. And that's what every guy wants. They want to be wanted. And my wife didn't want me anymore. So I'm like, all right, well, we're going to got to figure this fucking problem out. So that's what it was. That was the epiphany.
And everyone's on the edge of the chair. Our female audience is like, wait a minute, is he talking about all the millions he made all these years and how he bangs hot chicks? Or is there going to be a solution here that we want? Hang on, ladies. It's coming. Trust me.
And that's it. But a lot of guys here probably are making millions and probably bang hot chicks. But their wife's like, I got a headache. No, they're having sex maybe once a month, once every other month. They're like, what the ever-loving fuck? Because the secretary that works at their office will suck their dick like this.
Yep.
Am I using too crude of language?
No, it's fine. Don't worry. I don't know if we'll make the social media clip of it. I like your approach, man. I'm usually the one dropping F-bombs, offending my guest. Actually, I don't really offend anybody, but what did you say? I don't want to gloss over it. So you said you were making how much for how many years? You don't have to be specific.
I made millions. I've been flipping property. I mean, I was flipping properties in 2009, 2010. So we're at 12, 13 years. I'm making seven figures, seven plus figures. Like figuring out how to make money has not been the problem or the issue.
Yeah. And, I think it's something, man, with relationships, right, dude? It's like, you finding that balance and you kind of had, it sounds like maybe even hit rock bottom, your version of rock bottom to figure this out, right? Or a lot of us are in it, and we don't have a wife that says, F you, bye. And, you know, it's 10 years turns into 20 years and 30 years, and, you know, you don't have a happy person on the other end of it.
Yeah.
That's good shit, man. That's good shit. So, wait, can I just backtrack for 1 second, though?
You ask me anything you want, man.
You left Southern California to go be a preacher, it sounds like, or a pastor in Montana. I mean, shocking, Keith. That didn't work out. I mean, I'm looking at your age. You're probably not too far. So this wasn't the 60s, and you weren't doing acid that led you to that. Like, yeah. How do you make that decision? And was a rebellion like the reverse rebellion? Like the skateboarders of Southern California need a lesson?
Yeah, exactly. Well, dude, that's so funny. It was a skateboard shop that I actually came in. I was 15 years old. I wanted to get a job at the skateboard shop. And the guy's like, why don't you come to Bible study with me? I'm like, well, if that will give me a job, I'll go. And then I went there and it was around a fire pit. I was 15, didn't know shit from nothing.
Yep.
And next thing you know, they're telling me I'm going to hell if I don't repent. And like, who wants to go to fucking hell? That sounds horrible. I'm repenting. What do we need to say? And I got really into it. I'm kind of an extremist. I get all into something. And I'm not saying that the religion's full of shit. I'm not saying Jesus isn't real. Maybe that's all true. Maybe it's all whatever. But I am saying at 44 years old right now, I don't really know, man. I don't really know. But I do know this. I wanted to be successful in whatever I do.
Yep.
And I want to have a successful marriage. And I didn't want to have to get another divorce because I got my first wife was a divorce. My 3 kids went through hell. I'm like, I don't want that.
Okay.
And here it was faced with it for a second time with a new child. And I realized this is on me.
So that first young marriage, you guys had 3 kids. So you made it pretty deep into that marriage then.
That was deep into it. That's Paul.
Define deep. Vegas deep? LA deep?
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome, man. Let's get back to your positive message here, man. So you go through this. You've been successful in life. You're flipping houses. You're doing your thing. You live in You're back in Southern California now. You got a hot wife that you adored. You have a kid. All right, now you're back on your feet, and you're like, okay, do I need to change some things in my surroundings here? I can't just be flipping houses all day. I need to do something else. And
yeah, well, and at that point in time, I've written the book that happens to be right here called Private Money Secrets. I raised a ton of money, $60 million for my deals, taught people how to do it. I created an education company on how to do it.
Oh, so really?
Wow. Business is it's my game, man. I love it. And, and it has it's not a small thing. It's not a little thing. It's not a hobby. It's what I'm into. And, and then
private, what was it called? Private Money what?
Private Money Secrets.
And it was raising private capital for real estate or for venture deals?
Just real estate.
Real estate, cool.
The principles are 90% the same, but real estate, it's actually backed by the asset, et cetera, et cetera.
Cool. I'm sure everyone, people in our audience will be checking that out. Good shit, man.
Yeah. Well, it's a 1 out of 10 compared to what I'm doing now. But if they need that for that, go to Amazon. I think you can get it for like $10 or whatever.
Awesome. All right. Well, so keep going. So you came up with Married Game. What's this all about?
It kind of found me in a really funny sounding way. But she leaves, and then I hire 3 coaches on how to get her back. But the I've been in the coaching industry. Like if I wanted to get in shape, I hired a coach. I hired an Mr. Universe to show me how. Because I learned to get from A to B. If you hire a coach, you get there faster with a lot less pain.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So I'm like, all right, well, she left. So I went and YouTubed everything, how to get your ex back, right? What the hell? I hired 3 different, a girl, a guy, and another guy. And honestly, I'll be candid with you, dude. I don't think I really believe they actually went through what I went through. But the psychology of what they were teaching me brought me to one simple truth. And it was this: if I want to move on, I've got to move on. And if I want to get her back, I've got to move on. Growing up playing football, I realized, well, shit, that's a 1-page playbook. We're talking halfback off tackle every play.
Right. Yep.
Student body left or student body right. Okay, well, let's fucking go. And I realized that I had to become the most attractive version of me for me.
Okay.
And the number 1 rule of psychology is everybody wants what they can't have.
Yep.
And so I realized that I stopped trying to get her back and I started trying to get me back. And me back I'm going to get fit as fuck for me. I'm going to go make millions of dollars for me. I'm going to be a great guy for me. And then whatever lady gets to be in my life, what a blessing for her. Truly,
right.
Because I'm going to show up in an amazing way. I really feel like I pushed the greatest human being I ever knew out of my life by being a dumb-dumb.
Okay. So one of the things I noticed on your Instagram, I love that. I love everything you just said there, man. And one of the reels that I saw on your Instagram takes that even a step further then, and what that version of you being the best you can be. Because on the surface right there, if we just took that at face value, what you just said, that could be perceived a couple different ways. But on your Instagram, you said something about the platinum rule. And I won't take the, there's the golden rule, do unto others what you want done to yours. What is it? Do unto others what you want done to yourself.
Yourself, yeah.
Exactly. And why don't you tell us what the platinum rule is?
The platinum rule, which is better than the golden rule, is do unto others as they want done unto themselves. Not everybody, if you were to come up and give me a gift, it might be cool, but if not you precisely, but if my wife gave me a gift, it might be cool. But if my wife gave me a blowjob, it'd be a different situation.
Yep.
Because I can go buy anything I want. So that gift doesn't mean much. I can't give myself a blowjob nor what I want to. So it's like, it's kind of like the love languages, understanding the love languages, like, hey, what's meaningful to you? Well, I'm not going to give you a gift that has married name on it. I'm going to give you a gift with your company name, because your company name means way more to you than my company name.
Boom. Do you ever read any Dale Carnegie by any chance?
I've read every personal development book on planet Earth.
All right. One of the concepts, I quote this on the show a lot, How to Win Friends and Influence People, has had probably the biggest impact on my life of any book. And one of the chapters he gets into, he says kind of what you're saying, but a little bit different context. He talks about going fishing. Well, I'm paraphrasing, I don't know exactly what he says, but something along the lines, oh, you like peanut butter and jelly. Well, you don't put that on the fishing pole. You put worms on the fishing pole, right?
That's so good.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so here you are, and you decide, okay, this is a company, this is a business now. I mean, how do you get this? How do you get clientele besides coming on podcasts?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the best way to actually do get clientele is coming on podcasts.
Okay, there you go.
And they can see, hey, this guy's a real fucking dude. He's not just some dude. Like, the married game isn't just about how for me to make money. Married game is who I am. And how it happened was when I got my ex back and we started really working through, and I started realizing I have to show up. When I realized I was the problem, I realized I wasn't showing up in a way that any woman would have stayed with me long term. Okay? Like, I believe that women and men both love TNA, but we love them for different reasons. Men love it's an ass. Women love time and attention.
Well, there you go.
But in short,
I'm stealing that.
Yeah, it's yours. You can have everything here. So, like, in short-term attraction, to be able to bang hundreds of women, you have to understand what gets them drawn in. You understand the bait. And what that is, that mechanism is, I have plenty of options. Why would I spend any time with you? I'm banging 10s. I've got 6 ready to go right now. You're a 7th 10 in the stable. Why would I give my time to you? And they have to become the best option for you, especially if they want to land you. Once they land you, that mechanism is gone.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What's the next thing? I believe that a woman, a highly prized, a highly valuable woman, seeks the attention of a supremely valuable man. It's the most important thing to her. It's because that's why when we say women have daddy issues, what does that mean? They're seeking male attention. Their first male that was important to them was their dad. Okay. So now, as a locked-in man, most marriages are monogamous, so it's just you two there. What does she want? She wants your attention. She wants to know that she's valuable to you. She cares about you, that you care about her, that she's a priority. Not that you're a doormat, but that this highly valuable man is now casting his gaze and his attention. I feel like it's sunlight and sun rays for them to open and blossom up. I wasn't giving my wife any attention. So when I got her back and I started giving her attention and making her a priority, and I have a 5-dial system to explain how you do that very practically. Okay. But in that process, we start to really connect and have real connection with each other, not just sex. It's not based on sex. It's about our souls connecting, which is what I think we really want. Yes, men want sex, but they want to be wanted. They want to be desired. They want to be cared for. And what happened was all my friends own businesses. So they're like, well, shit, Keith figured out how to get his wife back. Man, Keith, I went from the back of the pack to like, they're a fun couple to now literally every one of my friends looks up to us and says, how are you doing this? What do you mean your wife sucked your dick in the back of the Escalade on the way home from date night last night? How is this possible? How
in your 40s? In your 40s, impossible.
Yeah, dude, but it's real. And I say this, Honeymoon sex is for minor leaguers.
Okay.
Soul sex gets better and better with age if you're doing it right. I don't just believe it, I live it. And I'm watching guys actually live it because I'm showing them the way to it. So my friend started sending people to me, and I started formulating, how do I teach what I'm living to other guys? And then here's where it'll happen. I don't know if you've heard of a guy by the name of Garrett J. White with Wake Up Warrior. Have you ever heard his stuff?
I haven't. Mm-hmm.
He's got a big movement that has had like 60,000 guys come through this program over the last 10 years. He and I, we live really close to each other, and we start surfing every day.
By the way, I love it when people ask me if I've heard of someone, and then I say no, and then they continue to say how popular it is and how everybody knows them except me.
Yeah. What the fuck's your problem? Where you been? No, but that being said, he was really pivotal in my life because we started surfing every day, and he's watching my relationship. We're going on double dates, and he's like, "Okay, I haven't seen it like this before. What the fuck?" And I started sharing my philosophies. Every day when you surf with somebody for an hour, 5 days a week, you get to know each other really well. We became totally best friends. And he had some philosophies too. And he was able to help me kind of coalesce them. And he goes, "Bro, my guys need you to hear that. My guys need to hear this. Why don't you just teach dudes? And why don't you come into my program and share it with these people?" So I took 20 clients in for free.
Okay.
This is business building 101.
Yep. Okay. Here we go.
If your shit really doesn't stink, well, let's fucking try it.
Yep.
So I took 20 of his guys into my program, and 16 of them got such dramatic results that he was like, "Holy shit, dude, this doesn't just work for you, the guy who's had sex with hundreds of women. This works for fucking, dumb Darren over here and fucking non-athletic Alan over here. How is this shit working?" And it gave me the confidence that my process worked. So from there, we started building it out. And then, honestly, there's going to be guys that are listening to this. They're like, "I want what that guy has. I don't care what it takes. I want it." So that's how it started to build.
And so you're marketing directly to the men, not to the women to maybe elect their husbands, or both?
Well, I have a podcast now that's become radically popular. And I say popular, like 30,000 downloads an episode. I don't know if that's popular for other people. That's popular for me.
Okay,
and it's a lot of women that will send it to their husband. So we do get that, but I'm only talking to guys, and I say, "Listen, if you have a penis, listen up. If you don't, send this to a guy with a penis."
I gotta say, man, it almost becomes when the woman sends it to her husband, there's already an underlying problem that exists that might not be well received if you're already having trouble with your wife, and then that's her answer. "Listen to this." You gotta almost have it be your own idea a little bit.
Well, here's how we do it, because we've ran into this. Women all the time are in my DMs. "Hey, I wish my husband would hear this." I said, send it to him and say, "Hey, is what this guy's saying, is this really how men think?
Yes. All right.
Is this guy right?" And then they listen to it. And of course, every guy who listens to me, they're like, "Man, he's fucking right."
Yeah.
Well, if a guy calls up and he ends up and talking to one of me or one of our guys that helps people move into the program, if they go, "Yeah, my wife sent me this," we know they're coming in the program.
And then if the husband doesn't enter it, the wife starts hitting you up on Snapchat instead of Instagram, saying, "What are you doing next weekend?"
I don't do Snapchat, but yes, right.
You want to gamble, but maybe not like all the way gamble, but you like fantasy? Moneyline app is the place for you. Play your prop bets in a parlay with some unique payout or continue options along the way. Make this company one of the faster growing apps of its nature. Check out Moneyline app on Apple and Android. And another provocative thing I heard you say, man, and this is, I don't know if this is going to be in the same category what we're talking about right now, but one of the quotes that I heard that kind of stuck with me was, "I don't want to compare is the thief of joy." No, that statement is for pussies. What do you mean by that?
We used to live in tribes as men. And with our eyes, we see each other. So we are a primal animal living in a modern society, okay? So nowadays, you don't have to be anything to survive. You can head down to fucking 7-Eleven, get a Slurpee and a Twinkie, and be a fat fuck and survive through this life. It was not the way. When you used to have to go catch your food, and you would show up for the hunting party, if you were out of shape, your spear was dull, and you can't fucking run, you should be radically embarrassed. Around, you're like, "Hey, we needed you on our team." You actually used to need a tribe to survive. You don't need a tribe to survive anymore. You do need to try to thrive, but you don't need one to survive. So comparison, we should be comparing ourselves one amongst another with men because that is a feature, not a flaw. It makes us as a species better. Well, when you're like, I don't want to compare, okay, well then get out of my world. I want to compare because if you're better than me, I want to be better. I want to be better. So I think it's a forcing function and a feature for us to be better. People who don't want to compare, I'm not interested in learning how you live because I don't want to fucking be you.
Gotcha. I like that, man. I like the attitude. I'm not going to agree or disagree publicly with everything you're saying, but I like that attitude a lot. And I actually like that categorization altogether. You know, you put a lot of emphasis, obviously, on sex and, you know, tying that in with what you just said, right, with the comparative analysis. Not everybody's going to be great at sex. And first of all, and second of all, not everybody is going to be the best at it. You know what I mean? And, you know, the emphasis on sex, is that really more metaphoric for other stuff, or is it really just about the physical sex?
Well, here's the punchline is a sex is the fruit on the tree, but the root is the real issue. And every man, sex is a byproduct of having a great relationship for the most part, especially when it's married. So if a guy can instantly go, I don't like the quantity or the quality of sex in my life. You don't need to go find a sex teacher. You need to. I believe the punchline is your wife's just not attracted to you. If she's not leaning in and she's being pushed away, attraction isn't just having biceps and abs. Attraction is, are you being pulled in? Are you wanting to know what's inside the box? Are you like, oh, that shit stinks, so bring that box around me. So if your wife is attracted to you, she wants to be near you and wants to be with you. So if you're not getting sex, your wife isn't attracted to you. It's the first, guys think about sex all the time, right? So if they're not getting it, and they're like, they feel trapped. They're like, well, I said I do to this lady, which means I'm probably going to be with her the next 75 fucking years, and I can't even get a blowjob anymore. When it started, we were having sex 2 to 3 times a week, and she'd get a little kinky. Now, I'm not getting sex, but maybe once a month, and she's like, oh man, hurry up, dude, your 3 minutes is almost up. I got a show to watch. And a guy just goes, this is some bullshit. So I'm hitting guys where they notice the problem.
Yep.
But when they come into the thing, I like teach you guys how to become the most attractive version of you for you, not for her, but for you, because that's what she gets attracted to.
See, okay, that's the huge distinction right there. You're building up men to have that confidence, but for the overall purpose of making them attractive to their wife again. And I got to think there's 2 like different verticals of people that would really benefit from your program. You know, the guy that's wife left him, that he's in the dumps and he's depressed about, I fucked that up. Oh no, she's fucking my neighbor, or, you know, whatever. Or the guy that, you know, fucking big dick energy. Oh, fuck her. You know what I mean? And then he takes him, 6 months of doing his own laundry and, dating other damn people to figure out, oh shit, I had it pretty good over there. I thought, man, I got married when I was young too, man. And we got divorced, and I remember me and my ex-wife, we didn't get back together, but we laugh about it to this day. It's like, those first 2 years, it's like we're all running out there, and it's like every person we're dating is like, okay, it's like the same version of my ex-wife. They look the same, they're about the same age, and she was kind of doing the same thing. And, ultimately we weren't for each other. But, I gotta think that, we both had other stuff going on, and we were, I don't think neither of us wondered that we were young, but I gotta think, 2 good looking people in their 40s, you know what I mean? And their shit hasn't stunk, and they got 3 good looking kids in private school and travel hockey and all this shit. And oh shit, now you're getting divorced. Hey, every divorcee in your affluent suburb is going to be lining up to fuck both of you. And you guys are all going to know each other, and you're going to your fucking golf club, right? Like, how do you find you how do they find you before the damage is done, though, in that process,
Well, it depends, man. But I always say, if you want to get your ex back or you want to get the sex back, it's the same thing. You got to become the most attractive version of you for you. You have to live a high standard. You got to become that. Guys go, my wife doesn't want me. I go, well, are you wantable? My wife doesn't fuck me anymore. Are you fuckable? Like, if you had to give you a blowjob and you had fucking titty sweat running down your fucking man boobs, would you want to be down there during the dirty work? Probably not. I'm cracking up at how much you're cracking. This is good. But here's the thing.
Oh, shit.
I call this the gospel and married game because it's such good news. Because when a man's trapped in a marriage that sucks, it feels like hell.
Yeah.
But if he does the right thing, and we can get into that in these dials, I can teach these guys practically how to change this, like almost not overnight, but the energy thing. Because most guys are pouty little bitches. They ask for sex, and then she rejects them, and they go, well, maybe if I had more sex, I would do more around the house. And she's like, you pouty little fucking bitch. This is not attractive. I don't want to now have sex with you because you forced me into it or guilted me into it, or you act like a passive-aggressive little pouty bitch. And so these guys don't know where to turn, actually how to do it. And they're getting told, like, do more around the house, or say yes more, or be more agreeable, or buy more gifts. And that's bullshit. It's not working. Every guy's tried it. You know why? Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because it has taker energy.
Okay.
They're just doing it to get sex rather than doing it because that's what a good fucking dude does.
Ah, okay.
Taker energy. Nobody likes taker energy. If a guy came up to you and you could tell he was just trying to get close to you because he could get something from you, you'd give him the fucking Heisman. You get the fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah, it's so it's fucking transparent as shit too, right? Like,
and that's what happens with these marriages. Guys are like, I'll do anything, and then they fall into what we call the mom matrix, where she's now your mom. You're seeking validation from her. Did I do good? Can I have a blowjob? Hey, I took the trash out. You know what, man?
Dude, I got a fucking text message this morning from someone I haven't talked to in 3 years. Hey, man, how you been? Clear blue frickin' sky, and a couple back and forth pleasantries. And I'm like, why the fuck's he messaging? We were never really that tight. Fourth text in. Hey, you still invested in movie productions by any chance? He had some fucking deal he wanted me to fucking invest. Dude, do we need to waste our fucking time with the 3 texts before that? Just send me the fucking deal. You know what I mean? Right. And I got to think of the context of a marriage. If you look at it in that context, you feel it. You feel it immediately, huh? I mean, I haven't been married for a long damn time. Never in a million years would I have thought that I wasn't going to get remarried a few years later. You know, and I just never did. So this is enlightening, my friend. I know for a fact we have a number of people that are divorced listening to the show. We heard those stats earlier, and maybe what you're saying will save a couple of divorces from that happening too, man. Good for you.
I hope so, man. I call it the gospel marriage game because the word gospel means good news, and I feel like an evangelist sharing, like, dude, guys, you don't have to fuck up your family, and I believe it's 95% the guy's fault.
Okay. Oh. Because your theory is that the guy should play the man role, be attractive, and the woman will follow if he's able to do that properly. Am I right?
Yeah. And guess what? I've had over 250 guys come through our program. I make them a deal. I said, listen, if you do the work and this doesn't work, I don't want your fucking money.
Okay.
0 refund request.
God, really?
You know why? Because if they realize and get to the point where they're no longer the problem, but they're willing to stay in a substandard marriage because they're a pussy and they're afraid to leave, then they are still the problem because they won't stand up for what they really want. Men they're afraid to ask their wife, hey, can we 69 tonight? Is that crazy? Most guys don't talk about their sexual fantasies with their wife. Who the fuck are you going to talk to them about? Who the fuck are you going to talk to about your sexual fantasies?
My old friend Gus, he tells me when I'm getting divorced. I should have had you back then, Keith. Maybe I'd still be married. He told me when I was getting divorced, dude, just work out, pretend like you don't care about her, ignore her, and go tanning. She'll come running back.
He's probably not wrong.
Guess it doesn't that way. What'd you say? It's probably not wrong.
I mean, not wrong. That's a piece of it, but if you want to get into my $5, or if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. But if I share the $5 with the guys, they'll start to go, oh shit, I see what's happening here. Yeah. But if you have any questions, ask away. But I'm happy to talk about whatever.
Yeah, dude. No, you're awesome, man. You're awesome. We usually keep the shows to about a half hour. So I think we showed your personality precisely. Thank you so much for being on. We do end with a question though. But before I get to that question, is there anything that we didn't cover, man? So marriedgame.com. We talked about your book that you're like, oh, it's only 1/10 of as good as the other shit I'm going to talk about. So it's not really a big endorsement to go buy your book, but we definitely have some private money types of people on this show that could probably benefit from it. Yeah, man. Anything else we should, that you want to throw out there?
Well, let me just take 1 minute to share what. Okay, so listen.
Please.
Your wife is judging you on these 5 things. How good of a parent are you?
Mm.
I was the world's worst parent. She didn't even want to have a second kid with me. That's how bad I was.
Wow.
And I already had 3 other kids that I did halfway decent with, but she's like, you're a fucking... She wants to know, how good of a partner are you? Like, do we even get along? Are you here to help? Or are you just whatever? How good of a producer you are? You got to have resources. You can't be... No woman wants to stay in cloth seats in a 1-bedroom apartment forever. How good of a player are you within your marriage? Meaning, do you have any fun? Does your wife have any fucking fun with you anymore? Most guys are like, I took my wife on a date. I'm like, where'd you go? They're like, oh, we went to Home Depot to pick up some parts and then sway through Chick-fil-A on the way home. I'm like, well, no shit, Casanova. No wonder you're not getting more ass in the toilet seat because you're boring as fuck. And then lastly, do you stand in your power? Do you do what you say when you say you're going to do it without fail? That equals the provocateur. A provocateur is what I teach guys to become, is the man who provokes his wife to want to be with him sexually and otherwise. And, just if they want to figure that out, they can go to marriedgame.com or they can go to keithyackey.com. Either way, we're going to share with how to become the guy that gets what he actually wants in his marriage because their wife wants to be with him. That's my goal, man.
You know what, man? And just in this half hour of talking to you, brother, there is so many people in the digital marketing realm right now, and I'm not taking anything away from these guys, but there's a lot of coaches out there that are trying to coach people on stuff that they haven't lived themselves. And you touched on it earlier, but there's business coaches coaching people on how to become business coaches for them to coach people on how to become business coaches. Their business is a business coaching business. It's fucking ridiculous. So you've actually lived and breathed it. You've been in successful other realms, and you decided to build a business that helps people with your own experiences. And I think that's freaking awesome, Keith. Good job, man. Yeah.
Appreciate it, bro. It's a passion. We live it. My wife jumps on the coaching calls with us. She can smell out bullshit better than a bloodhound. Yep.
Well, I'm going to share one thing, and then it's going to be the lead into my question. I thought this in the first 5 minutes of you talking. There is an old Will Smith movie called Hitch. Are you familiar with it, Keith?
I've watched it 3 times in the movie theater. It's the only movie I ever watched multiple times.
It used to be my pickup line when I was a consultant in the middle 2000s. And when I talked to girls that asked me what I do, and I go, I'm a consultant. Well, what kind of consultant? You ever see the movie Hitch? You kind of a relationship consultant? They'd believe me, and those, rest was history, and it's shocking I didn't get remarried, isn't it? So that's the lead in, though, Keith, to the final question we ask everybody. It doesn't have to be in this realm. It could be anything. Keith Yackey recommends what movie to the 2000% Raise audience?
Oh, shit. That is such a good one. The first one that's coming to my mind, it may not be my favorite one forever, but I'd say Good Will Hunting.
Oh, yeah.
And the very end is when 2 men are asking themselves, should they go follow their dream and pursue it? And I think that every man should. And you end up slaying a dragon and finding out who you really are when you go out in the real world. When you make it happen, I would say that every man, if he can experience that, he'll feel like fucking King Kong.
Nothing more for me to say. Thank you, my man. And that wraps up another episode of 2000% Raise. Thank you for listening. The best way to support our show is by leaving a rating or review on all platforms you listened on. And of course, by following, liking, or subscribing. Visit us at 2000percentraise.com or at John Cerasani on TikTok and Instagram. And of course, my YouTube channel at John Cerasani's 2000% Raise. Find all the ways to follow today's guests in our show notes. Thank you for being a part of our entrepreneurial journey.